Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I'm Lisa Akbir, your hair doctor. It's Christmas, almost. It's almost Christmas, and I'm so excited. So Merry Christmas. I love you all. Merry Christmas, and have a happy New Year. I want to say to y'all just first how much being with you all of this year has been to me, how much it's meant to me. I truly feel blessed that I'm able to give to you and your family just any knowledge that God has given me. You know how I feel. When your hand is open, you can give more and you can receive more. When your hand is closed, you can't give anything and you can't receive anything. So remember that during this holiday season. Look for people who need a hug, who needs a smile, a child that may just need somebody just to say, hey, I love you, or just a family friend, an elderly person, someone who's sick, just to go by and say hello to them. The gifts are not it all, and we hear this all the time. Jesus is the reason for the season. So Jesus gave. God gave Jesus. There's just so much to understand about this, but it's simple at the same time. That we're just to love. And all the prosperity that has come to us this year has come to us because Jesus has given it to us. And the greatest gift of all is the love of God. So just keep in mind those things as we're going through this Christmas season. And remember that for those of us who've lost loved ones and all the national exposure about the children being killed and the teachers, I can share a vision with you. I was burdened by it, and God showed me a vision of a female just laying her head on the chest of Jesus, and all around their heads and on the sides of them there were these little children in angel wings, and they were flying around and just going to the clouds and playing on the clouds. So God is in control. Believe me, God did not do these things. Did not. But God is with us and comforting us through the things that are done on earth. So just be encouraged. So I just wanted to say I love you. To God be the glory in Jesus. And I pray you have a Merry Christmas. So let's get to some of the questions. We're going to see how much we can do with the book, and we're just so thankful. Okay, so our first question is, hi, Dr. Akbir. I have let me turn this off because I think there's a buzzing. Ooh, and I wasn't speaking very loud. I hope y'all can hear me. And that's what happens when y'all can't hear me. I'm not speaking very loud, so I apologize for that. But I'm going to talk about all the things that I mentioned earlier at the end. But it says, hi, Dr. A. I have a question for you. Did you ever find out if the detangling comb brush was too damaging for natural hair afro? I saw a video of yours from 2011, but I don't know if you did a follow-up. Thank you. God bless. God bless you too. Well, this is what I've gathered from the Tangle tweezer. I got my hair twisted. Now, see, it's trying to straighten out. Pause. Okay. Anyway, you're just going to hang over there today, aren't you? Anyway, the Tangle tweezer is more of it's kind of under the umbrella of a bristle brush. The Tangle tweezer is not good for the hair. The Tangle teaser, anyways, I forget. Sorry, guys. But anyways, it's not a item that's really good for the hair. Okay? It's really going to tear and rip at the cuticle of the hair shaft. It could cause these microscopic tears, and there may be a problem with, now this is what I found to be true, there may be a problem later on with elasticity. So anytime you go through the hair and brush You can actually remove tangles, but you just have to be sure that you are not tearing the cuticle. Make sure it's a brush with the teeth widely spread apart and with the little balls on the end, the rubber tips. There are Denmans, there are all types of brushes that will work well, but again, when you have kinky hair, you shouldn't brush your hair. And I know people say, well, I have a baby brush and all that, but you really shouldn't, because it really can pull through webbed hair or tangled hair and cause a microscopic tear, which causes a problem with elasticity, or it could rip down the actual shaft and cause a tear. So that would be a problem, okay? So be really careful with that. With the first part of this, you might have to put your headset on because I wasn't speaking loud. Okay, happy holidays is the next one. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas. The Christ in Christmas is Jesus. So Merry Christmas to you. Hi, Dr. Akbir. I recently subscribed to your channel, and I appreciate your knowledge. I would like your opinion on keratin treatments. I stopped using relaxers over a year ago. I wash, I shampoo, I air dry, and I use rollers to curl my hair myself every week, and it seemed much improvement. Still, I have relaxed ends left as I don't want to do the big chop. Every 3 to 4 months, my beautician does a keratin treatment. There's no fumes. She uses a flat iron on 150 degrees to seal in the keratin. Do you this treatment is healthy? Do you think this treatment is healthy? Yes and no. Yes and no, because keratin is protein, and I think keratin in itself can give us many benefits because it strengthens the hair shaft, and hair is mostly composed of keratin. And I think that's where everyone has gotten everyone with pulling them in with this. But the heat with the keratin is good as long as it's indirect heat, like dryer heat, conditioner, plastic cap, sitting under the dryer. You're great. When you start using a flat iron on top of a wet head of hair, then your pressure heat, you can cause bubble hair, those little nodular areas on the actual strand where the cortex literally boils and swells, and it could cause weak spots. Initially, you don't notice it, but they're just weak spots, and then eventually causes problems with the hair cuticles lifting, and it causes a problem with the breaking away eventually, and elasticity issues, so then you lose the hair. The other thing you got to remember is that with keratin treatments, you have to heat the hair, as you stated, a 450. If you have coarse hair or dry, hydrated, when I say dry, it's not a contradiction, not wet hair, but just hair that moisture levels are up but not wet. On dry hair, you can use that if you have coarse hair. But if you don't have coarse hair, then eventually it burns the cuticle, so you'll notice straight, silky body hair, but then over a period of time, you feel the hair, the bulk of your hair shaft seems to be going away, and so you'll notice thinner hair. So keratin has pros and cons. I don't believe you should do anything with a flat iron on wet hair, and especially putting something like that into the hair. Let's make sure these are off, because that is not what we want today. We want to have freedom to make sure that all the phones are off. Let's see, let me get that off before someone, oh, all I have to do is turn this one off. What am I doing? Okay, so that's what I have to say about keratin treatments. Okay, and the next question is, hi Dr. Akbir, your hair is pretty and it looks darker. You've covered that in this vid. LOL, sending pics. Okay, I have not covered this part of my hair, but I do color around my hairline because of my white little friends. I want them to stay next to me, give me a hug. I don't want them up in my head. So, I do cover with a vegetable rinse. Alright, now, and LOL, you're so beautiful and sweet. I love you. I love it back. I love you too. LOL, I love you. Okay, laugh out loud. giggles. Okay, thanks, Lisa. I've been natural for 30 years. Yay! Most of my friends are in wigs, and that's one of the things we think about. I look at my patients who have been natural for a period of time, or patients who have actually started a healthy hair care regimen where they're paying attention to how often the chemicals are done and those kinds of things, even if they're not natural, and they have hair. A lot of patients who really are not, who don't have a healthy hair care regimen, are in wigs after a certain age, and it's getting younger and younger. Initially it was like in your 50s or 60s. Now it's in your 30s or 40s. It's really getting to be bad. Okay, it says, hi, Dr. Ackberry. Mrs. Matthews here. Hi, Mrs. Matthews and Miss Pearl. How are y'all today? How are you? I tell Miss Pearl I have not heard from her. But anyways, how are you? I am sorry I missed you too. Cynthia took care of me, and she is a sweetheart. Isn't she a sweetheart? Cynthia is our lead therapist over in our treatment area at the World Trichology Institute. So that's what Miss Matthews is speaking of. Okay, very knowledgeable. Yes, she's been with our company for a long time, and I have really worked with her for a period of time, so she's great. She's actually been through what we call the Junior Trichology program, and I'm very proud of her. She's a licensed cosmetologist as well, so I'm blessed to have her on our team. Okay, it says, I would still love to just say hello to you on the phone, though. Oh, okay, but I know you're busy. You're a busy lady. I look forward to this video every Thursday. I look forward to seeing y'all every Thursday. Oh my goodness, you just don't know. Okay, it says, the more I read the book, the more I learn about my own hair. That's what this is about. Empowerment. What did I learn? Do I know what I need to know to take care of me? That's what it's about. Miss Love is right. You do deserve pics, and I will be one of the first to send you some. Thank you. To God be the glory in Jesus. Yes. And just understand what I'm going to do with these pictures, just so y'all know, and the video. You can do a picture or a video. I'm doing a web page on my website called My Cyber Family, and it's going to post all of the people who have subscribed to me, all of you. I think it's like almost 6,000 now. All of you. And then I'm going to put videos of you. When they click on your picture, it's going to say a video. If you send me a video, just talking about you being in this family and encouraging other people to join our family, and just to give your testimony about what you're learning, because that's what this is about. People need to hear from real people saying, hey, I learned how to detangle my hair, or hey, I learned this. That way we can just grassroots, just get into the community just through the internet. Just use this internet in a positive way. Okay, the next one says, you answered my questions, yay. Okay, and then next is, I never use flat irons or blow dryers. So let me turn that off. Okay, it says, I'm never sleeping without covering my hair. I'm never combing my hair again. I finger detangle. Doing these things are just too much for my hair to take. Well, it's just a way to handle it. Too much is too much. The hair does great as long as it's not overexposed. If you use a flat iron, you have to gauge the temperature. You cannot overuse it. You cannot use it on dry hair. You cannot use it on a very, very high temperature. You just have to make sure that you are careful to use the appropriate amount of heat. Not in terms of how often, it's how much heat. Using a blow dryer, you have to be careful not to blow dry from wet to dry. You have to allow your leave-in conditioners to sit for several minutes in order to allow the bonds to reform and the leave-in conditioner to draw into the hair. And then you have to fan dry, and then you can go through and use the comb and comb through. But that with the attachment and all the smoke flying and the hair flying, that's too much. That's overuse. And combing, you don't detangle with a comb. You don't really detangle with your human comb. You detangle with your fingers and thumb and pressing your products in. So when you get your human comb, you can slide straight through and there's no problem. I feel like half of my hair is tucked under here, so it looks like I have little strings hanging on one side of my hair. Oops. Okay, just get back up there. Okay, this happens because my hair is so long, and so I have to in order to make my hair pack in there. Okay, let's see. The next one was high volume was much better. That's because I'm speaking up. Sometimes I'll go, yes, guys, and you know, I forget. Okay, let's get to the book. The book. Every Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair at Any Age. We stopped at, I think we were talking about chemical damage. And we're talking about really of the life of a strand. And I'm just going to pretty much talk about that in this video, the rest of our video, our show today, our pre-Christmas show. It's chemical damage. It can be fatal to any strand. It can shorten the life of that entire strand. It can cause you to lose hair. That is true. That is true. All the things that I mentioned can have negative aging effects on your strand, and your hair can feel and look old. In other words, it can get thin and it can be brittle, it's weak, and those kinds of things. But it's overexposure. Remember, aged hair will break easily. It ages your hair when you do things like she mentioned, the comb and the flat iron and all those things. If you overdo it, if you pull through the hair with when there's tangles, or even when there's not, if you just go through, you know, one of the ways we did growing up, we just take the hair, rake all the way up, and we tore the hair, and that caused aging effect. So it causes problems with elasticity, and eventually the hair will break. So it aged the hair. Let's talk. If you damage your hair, if you've damaged your hair, remember this now, because this is important. I don't want you to feel condemned, like it's over, hopeless. If you've damaged your hair, then you still can have another opportunity. The great thing about this is our hair grows, it sheds or dies away. And dying away is when you've damaged it, and then it returns, the follicle produces a new hair. As long as you don't lose the follicle, then you have another opportunity to have another hair strand. Alright, so remember that. As we age, our scalp also ages, because scalp is skin. Remember that. The scalp sheds its top layers on a continuous basis, just like with our face. Every 30 to 45 days, we've got new skin. Scalp is skin, because the skin is continuously renewing. And the reason why many people have itchy scalp, flaky scalp, tender scalp, scalp problems, and they're running to the dermatologist when they're in what I call a disorder, out of balance state, and not a disease state. They are having these problems because of the environment that they're keeping their scalp and hair in, which is causing a problem with the renewing of the skin. So it ages, kind of like your face. You just get old from being in too much sun, or not moisturizing, or just not cleaning makeup off. Those are things that age your skin. So scalp is skin. You leave hair products down in your scalp. You're scratching it. You're burning with chemicals. That ages your scalp. Well, okay, guess what? If you age your scalp, then you are going to cause hair loss. Okay? So you have to be careful with that. So eventually there will be problems. Some of the things seem so innocent. Simple mistakes we make in our scalp care or lack of. Things that we must recognize and change in order to stop the scalp from aging. Okay? Because a scalp that's in a disorder state would eventually create an environment for a scalp that's in a disease state. Now, what do I mean by that? That means if you have pollutants on the scalp, dust, dirt, debris, that's environmental pollutants, or you have cosmetic pollutants, hair products. Every day you're piling on hair products. Some people put them on every day, and they don't clean every 3 to 7 days. So they end up with this negative buildup of cosmetics and environmental pollutants. Now couple that, you know, the skin is trying to renew. So you couple it with the scalp pollutants because you are not cleaning, so they're becoming polluted on the scalp. So what happens when that occurs? Well, when that occurs, you create an environment for pathogens, which are disease-causing bacteria, to live, breed, and grow on your scalp. When that occurs, scalp disease. So you have that environment for that disease to creep in. So it's very important, and it just makes your scalp susceptible to all kinds of problems. And it'll itch, you scratch, you rip up the cuticle, the epidermis, which eventually causes the basal to be exposed, and then the dermis exposed. So then now you've got this open tissue exposed to all these pathogens. It's just a bad situation, and it causes aging. Well, okay, let's remember, scalp is skin, but scalp is also what? The foundation. Hair is an appendage of the skin. So if you damage your scalp, you're eventually going to damage how that hair emerges, the ability for the hair to emerge. That's why so many people are going bald. Now, there's internal follicular issues like male pattern, female pattern, telogen effluvium. There's a drug-induced, like medication causing it. Disease. Some of your diseases can cause your follicle to malfunction internally, which means that your hair cannot, and we're going to talk about that later on in the book, your hair follicle cannot produce a hair for whatever reason. But there's external, and that's where most of the patients who come in to see me are having problems with. They are going bald because of their foundation is not stable, and it's not stable because of how you take care of it, which causes that aging process. That's why as we get older, we start to see this, because the skin loses its ability to fight back in this horrific, horrible environment. Okay? All right. Now, so let's see what we want to say. Older women have poor shampoo methods in some cases, because many of them shampoo, and not just older women. I find this with other women as well. They shampoo with their fingernails and sharp shampoo brushes. And why I say older, women from back in the day, that was what we did. We lifted the dandruff, we scratched the scalp. That's bad. And we talked about that before. When you scratch your scalp, when you lift the dandruff, you are scratching away at pollutants because you're itchy, but you're also tearing at the tissue, which can cause a problem with aging, ripping the cuticle, I keep wanting to call the epidermis cuticle today, but ripping at the epidermis and eventually into the basal, which eventually into the dermis, where the hair is produced, which can cause scarring, inflammatory cells all around that area, and you have problems. You can develop all types of problems. Okay, let's see. Okay, there are many products on the market, because we have to talk about this a little bit as we close out the year. There are many products on the market with promises to give the hair of your dreams. Now remember that. Some women walk around with what seems to be picture perfect hair, but have you noticed that many of them are always scratching their scalp? The scalp itch because most hair products address the style problems or the style. They do not address the care of the scalp and of the hair. Now, people have gotten a lot better with products, a lot of these manufacturers, but there's still a lot out there that really just help you get the look. We're motivated by that mirror, so we're like, oh, my hair looks good, I'm great, but then we're doing this, and we're doing this, and we're beating it, and we're just, and we're doing all kinds of things because our scalp itch. Okay. Hair products are a big issue with women because we want just the right one. We want the one that's going to do it all, take care of it all. But you got to be careful because they can leave filmy buildup on the hair. And that filmy buildup will eventually cause pores, creating what we call a blockage right in the lip or the mouth of the follicle, which causes problems with your hair emerging from your scalp. Okay, and we're going to try to close this particular chapter out. It says many products include shampoos, conditioners, and styling lotions leave that your hair and scalp itchy and dry. What happens initially, those hydrating shampoos, and we talk about them all the time, they tend to detangle and even feel a little soft sometimes. I gotta get this hair off from under here because it made my hair look like I had strings hanging on one side of my head, and it was bugging the heck out of me. Okay. You just sit right there and don't you move. Look at that. Looks like a horn. I love my hair because it just okay. We'll talk later. Okay. All right. I have done scalp analysis on 40-year-old women who have scalps that look older than some of my 80-year-old patients, and this is true. I compared the skin on the face of the patients that I see and the skin on their scalp, and it's unbelievable. You would not believe it. The skin of the face in many cases is clean, smooth, shiny, hydrated. The skin on their scalp is polluted, cracked, dry, discolored, traumatized, bruised, all these things. And people feel, okay, yeah, the skin in the scalp is different. The skin on the scalp is different from the skin on the face. This is true. But I believe that people are very concerned about their face, and I understand. I am. But they're not as concerned about their scalp. And we're going to speak more on the scalp later on. You got to think about both scalp and skin. Just remember that this week. And that's problems with aging. And those of you who are getting chemicals often, and you're doing things that I don't know, you're doing things that just because you want the look. It's the holiday, I've got to have my perm. It's the holiday, I want to twist my hair. Watch the traction, ladies. Watch the cleaning. Still take care of your hair even though it's the holiday. I'm just going to stick this way out like this and just let it just do its thing. Okay, you're just going to get out of the picture. Go, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Okay, we'll do that for the rest of it. In conclusion, it does not matter if you are going through puberty or menopause or any age between. Your hair and scalp can look and feel young at any age. Just stop doing negative things that age your hair and scalp and start doing positive things that offer you to your hair and scalp. I'm Lisa Ackberry, your hair doctor. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I love you guys. I may not do I probably won't do one on next week, but I'll be back. And I don't know if I'll get to do one for New Year's either. Ooh, okay. Well, I love y'all so much. To God be the glory in Jesus. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I will talk to you soon. Keep those videos coming because in January, that's when I'll be working on my web page. Now, understand me. I want pictures with comments or videos with the comments. And then I'm going to list you as a member of my family. And I'm going to put them on in the order that I receive them. Okay? So, I love you, love you. No, I'm not hurting myself. I'm just stretching my hair beyond my shoulder and out of the picture. Because it wouldn't act right today. And I'm not torturing it. I'm just kind of, it's just a piece. One little section. Alright, talk to you guys later. I just miss you. That's why I don't want to end the video, but I have to. Okay. To God be the glory in Jesus. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. Give, give, and give. You cannot beat God's giving no matter how you try. Remember that song? You can't do it. And I want you to love your family. Love on them. Stop saying, I don't want to go to so-and-so's house because cousin so-and-so is going to be there, or uncle so-and-so is going to be there. Your family, hello, your family is a gift. If someone's there that's going to harm you, okay, you don't go around that. But family's a gift. You don't judge them. You didn't choose them. There, you take the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you love them where they are. Okay? Thank you so much. Again, I love you. To God be the glory in Jesus. I wish you a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. I love you, your babies, your husbands, your wives, your family, I just love you. Okay? Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.